From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Friday, September the 29th, 2023. The first Jewish woman to serve in the U.S. Senate and the Senate's longest-serving woman to date has died. Senator Dianne Feinstein represented the state of California for over 3 decades, known for breaking down gender barriers and for her advocacy on issues including gun control, women's rights, and protections for the LGBTQ community. The American Jewish Committee called Feinstein a true trailblazer. The Anti-Defamation League saying she was a tireless advocate in the fight for equality and justice for all. The World Jewish Congress called Feinstein a remarkable public servant, saying her legacy will continue to inspire those who strive for a more just world. Dianne Feinstein passed away last night. She was 90 years old. Well, over 80 years since one of Germany's most prominent synagogues was set on fire and its property later expropriated, the Jewish community of Hamburg has been given back ownership of its site to rebuild. The Bornplatz Synagogue was burned during Kristallnacht, the Night of Broken Glass, in 1938, and then sold to the city under duress and demolished. The JTA reports this past Wednesday, the Hamburg Parliament unanimously voted to return the property to the Jewish community for reconstruction in a special restitution ceremony where Hamburg officials cut up a copy of the document that had ordered the demolition. Chairman of the SPD parliamentary group, Dirk Keinschurf, told representatives of the Jewish community who were present for the ceremony this week, "We apologize for coming to the decision so late." Local antique dealer, Israeli-born Daniel Scheffer, one of the spearheaders of the campaign to rebuild Bornplatz, said on Wednesday, "This moment today is a turning point for our Jewish history in Hamburg. It is the victory of justice and Jewish life in Hamburg over the barbarism of the Nazis." A proposal from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Diaspora Affairs and Social Equality Minister Amichai Chikli to budget additional funds to collect visual testimony of Holocaust survivors was approved by Israel's cabinet this week. It also broadens the accessibility of those testimonies, including for educational purposes. Prime Minister Netanyahu said on Wednesday, against the phenomena of Holocaust denial and displays of anti-Semitism around the world, we have passed a decision today that will assist in preserving the memory of the Holocaust. He said, "We are expanding the important initiative of collecting firsthand testimony from Holocaust survivors, those who heroically succeeded in surviving the horrors of the Nazis. We are committed to looking after the rights and the well-being of Holocaust survivors. We will pass their memories on to coming generations, and we will always take care to ensure our future." The B'nai B'rith World Center Jerusalem and the Committee to Recognize the Heroism of Jewish Rescuers During the Holocaust will present the Jewish Rescuers Citation in honor of Alma Rose this Sunday in Israel. Rose was the leader of the women's orchestra at the Auschwitz death camp, forced to play music while the atrocities were taking place. She recruited more musicians than needed, including non-professional musicians, which for many saved their lives. Most of the orchestra members, in fact, survived Auschwitz. Rose, however, was murdered in April of 1944 at the death camp. She is being honored posthumously for her bravery and leadership, saving fellow Jews during the Holocaust. A relative of hers from Canada, Jennifer Rusma, and one of the last surviving members of the orchestra, 100-year-old Hilda Simcha, will be present. The Jewish holiday of Sukkot, known as the Festival of the Tabernacles and the Feast of Booths, begins this evening at sundown. Ynet News is featuring a photo gallery of pictures sent in to them of Sukkot built from around the Jewish world. And we have Reform and Orthodox Sukkot services for you here on JBS beginning tonight and throughout the weekend. As always, please check our website, jbstv.org, for the full schedule. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Friday, September the 29th. As I mentioned, live Sukkot services coming up at 6 o'clock tonight from New York City's Central Synagogue. They will be followed by services from the Hampton Synagogue for Sukkot. At 8:30, Prime Minister Netanyahu's speech to the UN General Assembly. At 9, the film A Jewish Spirit Sings. At 10, Muzika with Hapil Hakachol. At 10:30, a replay of the Hampton Synagogue services, and then a replay from Central. And coming up next, Rabbi Shlomo Riskin looks at the holiday of Sukkot. And that's the JBS News Update for Friday, September the 29th, 2023. I'm Teisha Bader. Stay healthy, stay well. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach.